So let's talk financial minimalism. It may sound like a fancy term, but I promise you by the end of this video you're going to want to implement some sort of financial minimalism within your finances. When I look back, I'm always amazed at how much money that's passed through my hands. There was a time that I would mindlessly spend, pay no attention to my balance, and every day was a countdown. My non-existent mismanagement style of managing my money was becoming a headache. This way of spending, of course, quickly got me in trouble. Thinking about any type of financial minimalism is not necessarily the easiest decision to make. No one really likes the thought that they are withholding things from themselves or missing out on the pleasures of spending. After much soul searching, exploring my own spending habits, reading and speaking with others, I uncovered several common things and some key ways that we can rewire our spending to have more of a financial minimalist approach. But first, your money mindset needs to be adapted. And this is basically how you see money in today's world and your relationship with it. For the majority of us, our relationship with money comes from our past conditioning with money. This is a mixture of how your family has taught you how to deal with money or how you've been educated how to handle money. And I've come across these types of spenders. The impulse buyer who spends money on things that's not planned. This is probably the most dangerous type there is. They are more likely to make one single large payment for something that could later lead to regret. Then you've got the emotional spender, who buys first with emotion and then justifies later with logic. And then there was the mindless spender, who spends money on small to medium things, and in a nutshell, that was me. Once I started to track all my purchases, it was staggering to see how much all those little costs accumulated to. Things like subscriptions at the time definitely needed to be reviewed. So here's a quick starter guide to financial minimalism. Start to track all your purchases, and then you'll start to get a real idea of where your money is being allocated. Set yourself a budget for the month, even if it's a rougher idea of what you ideally want to spend, and then categorize them. So that will be bills, entertainment, food, categories like these. It can be really easy to get carried away with spending, especially on things that we think that we have a hold of. If I was to ask you how much do you spend on entertainment without you actually tracking it, would you actually come to a specific number? I guess not. So I would definitely suggest categorizing everything once you start tracking everything. Financial minimalism has taught me to consider every single purchase and to take a moment before I actually make that purchase. To be really intentional with what I buy. It's a case of just becoming more disciplined. And there's also one key element that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is spend less than what you actually make. It's incredible how quickly we spend money and how often we do it without thinking much into it. But when you challenge your mindset to think of purchases this way, it will become easier to pass upon the opportunity to spend your money on something new and shiny. If you pursue financial minimalism, it also pushes you in the direction not to be so dependent on your salary, as you're not always maxing out at the end of each month. If you're living on a knife edge, you're technically putting yourself at risk. And if the unfortunate situation of losing a job or becoming a redundant may happen, as we all know, things can be uncertain. So having that conscious financial awareness, you will be one step ahead of others. And yes, I know it's difficult when you've got things shouting at you like buy now, pay later. And one thing I have seen recently is paying on credit or monthly installments, which is quite popular now in the UK. And this makes it even more tempting just to buy and not even worry about your purchases and think about it later. Just remember the bigger picture. You will soon realize that there is a focus on acquiring less things. As you'll start to realize what's important, you're leaving the door open for your money to be put towards more practical means, whether that's saving a percentage of your salary or investing that or paying off debt, or just plainly spending more money on what you truly value. And this is the type of approach which really excites me. Taking a step back, seeing where you actually spend your money and thinking about, right, do I value these things that I'm actually spending my money on, and where can it be best spent? So for example, if I cut back on veg, but after some time I realised, no, this is something that I really do value because I enjoy cooking with high quality ingredients. I can later on allocate more money to that because this is something that I actually value. This is not just about getting caught up in the spending of money just to spend it, but instead it's about only spending on only your necessities and the things you care about. I think value-based spending gives you the opportunity to save money whilst at the same time being able to spend money on what you actually value. Think about the last 5 things that you bought. Can you immediately recall them? Maybe you can't remember the last 5 things, maybe because they were inconsequential. When you're trying to make a value-based decision, ask yourself questions like this. How will this help me reach my goals? Does the value of the product last longer than the experience of buying it? Will I still want this thing this time next year? Can I return it if I decide it's not right for me? Will I regret having bought or spent the money on this? There's a sweet feeling that accompanies buying something that you truly want for yourself. There's a deep satisfaction in the knowledge that this is something that you have been craving for. It's something that you have a use for. It's something that will add value to your life. Every single penny you spend makes a statement about you, and if you were to look at your bank statement, it would leave a bread-like trail of clues to what you currently value. When you make a purchase, you are flexing your money muscles. You're also making a statement on the type of life that you want to live in. For example, if you sign up to a gym membership and you actually go, you're actually making a statement that you're saying you value your health. If you opt to buy organic ingredients as opposed to buying the cheapest ones, you are making a statement to say you do not want any chemicals on your food, as that's something that you value. As I'm more aware of my financial future more than ever, I am not someone who's always booking holidays. I've never been fussed about the newest phone, cars or tech, well maybe tech. Yet here I am still managing the minefield of managing my money. Money mismanagement is something more common than people actually realise. Money is not really taught in schools or colleges, so where do you actually learn this stuff from? I guess it's from life experience, and there's going to be a percentage of people that want to cut back on the pennies to have more money in their pockets, to make better financial decisions, but they just don't know where to start. So I've broken it down into the following stages. Own your finances, acknowledging how you spend and making those little decisions where needed. Take action. Ignoring things won't make your financial situation any better. Take informed choices, most probably best from a financial advisor. Find your balance. Don't compare your financial situation to others. That just creates unnecessary stress on yourself. For me, financial minimalism is having a balanced lifestyle, knowing where you're at and knowing what's right for you. It's about having the confidence to push back on the traditional norms and focusing on what's important. Thank you for reaching the end of this video. If you liked it, please smash the like button, and if you want to say anything or comment below, please do. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you guys in another one.